Hi, and welcome back to the channel. We are continuing 1899. This is episode 8 titled The Key. Before we get into it, as per usual, this video is sponsored by Movie Palettes. See this beautiful thing behind us? Explained it many times how it works with the lines representing the color, dominant color in each scene of a movie. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is right behind us. They have so many more movie paintings like this over at moviepalette.com. You can get one for yourself with the code SPIDER15. Use that code, at least, if you want to support the channel, but then also to get 15% off of your purchase. Thanks to Movie Palette for sponsoring these reactions to 1899. And we already talked about it, unfortunately. It's probably going to be the only time we react to 1899. The only season where we're going to get to do that is the first season because it got cancelled by Netflix. And unless another streaming service picks it up, then we're not going to see the end of this story, unfortunately. But we've enjoyed the ride. We've had a lot to talk about, many theories. Some of them, like we've sort of, we've hit the mark. A lot of times we certainly haven't, but we've learned more and more throughout the course of this season. Now we are really invested. So again, it's a crying shame that we're not gonna get to see the conclusion of this story. But with what happened last time, it seemed like that was the end of that simulation, and now we're gonna hit a hard reset. Possibly, but what's up with all the people who are now in the archive? What's going to happen to them? Are they just going to reset together with all the people who seemingly died throughout the first 7 episodes? It's, dealing with a lot of trauma and a lot of emotion, that is for sure. But I think we should just pretty much jump into it, unless you have anything you want to say before we start. Nope. All right. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like, comment, all that good stuff. Check out the Patreon where you can watch full-length reactions, sync it up with your own copy of the episodes. It's a way to, again, support the channel and keep the whole thing going. We really appreciate all the support. Now, let's jump into it. This is probably the last episode of 1899. Episode 8, The Key. Here we go.
Look what I found. I named him Alfred. Don't you think he looks like an Alfred?
So weird that he's speaking a lot all of a sudden.
Yeah.
How will I watch him grow then?
I'm afraid that you won't. Sometimes we have to let things go because we can't keep them forever.
Oh.
I'm sure your father told you all about me, but he probably left out the bit that explains why we're truly here. You and me.
Please go on.
They came on this trip because they made the choice to forget their past. And now they're all stuck in here as well. Your mother has fooled you. She has fooled all of us. And she's the only person who can get us out of here.
So he's trapped as well.
If you're brave enough, I can show you the truth.
So perhaps he's just there to be a caretaker of, or
Yeah, but still trapped. I thought, like, even though of course they had planned to continue with 2 more seasons, the way that things went now with the cancellation, I sort of hope that we are going to get sort of an end here that could be the ending, even though I'm probably not. I don't think they thought about, oh, we might not get to do seasons 2 and 3, so let's make sure that this could be the end.
well, with Netflix, if you ever sign a deal with the devil, that's definitely what you might risk. And that's like a high risk.
They already did it once, and they got to do 3 seasons with Dark. So why wouldn't it? Yeah.
Have a little bit of sense of reality here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just look at their track record with Netflix. Just like this, A Graveyard of Ships, they have a graveyard of shows that only lasted for 1 fucking season.
Yeah, that might have shown great promise.
Yeah, they all went the way of Firefly. It's like the prime example. I know that's not Netflix, but still.
Where is he?
Why is he not wet from swimming? Or did he get there in a boat?
Who is he really?
Possibly.
Do you remember how you boarded this ship?
Of course I do.
No.
Do you though? Do any of you? They all have a letter. No power? You can always pry open something. Seems
Pry
like.
open, that's what it's called.
Oh, yeah, we were
Yeah.
searching for that.
Yeah.
in the previous one.
我冇想留喺呢度，我要離開呢隻船。She's right. We should let one of the lifeboats down. Get off this bloody.
Go where? Is that gonna work?
How do we get to the mental hospital?
Follow me.
Also that is still exists, but the other one does not. Huh. What?
Why?
The boy, he said that there was a creator. Somebody who's created all of this.
Your father. You think he created this?
Whoever created it, there must be some kind of a logic.
I think you created it, Mora.
Inside the brain, memories are stored in different areas, but they're all connected to each other through neural pathways.
So those are the neural pathways.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Like,
Yeah.
thinking about it like that.
So that's what all the wires sort of represent. What the hell? Creepy. Oh, that shit is really... getting out of control now. Fuck. Run, run, run! Oh, fuck. Is there anywhere to run at all?
And we know what happens when people split up in horror movies, right?
Yeah.
What happened to that kid?
I'll show you the truth. I know you think it's your mother who's trapped in here. This is not her prison.
It's ours.
It's yours.
Oh.
This may hurt.
Which one is he using? The white one? Oh, we've only seen the syringe with like the black stuff in it up until this point, right?
I actually haven't noticed.
You have to let him go.
I can't. Don't worry, my love. It's the only way for us to be together.
And see, now it's the black stuff.
When your mother was your age, she found a paper on Plato's cave allegory in my study. It was this one thought that turned her world upside down. One evening she came to me and said, how do we know that the actual reality isn't outside the life we're living? But then it's the world God is living in that's real, and we are just his doll's house. And then again, who created God? Doesn't it go on endlessly? In a way, this here is a doll's house, and it was built for you.
You're lying.
That's what your father wants you to believe, but he's been lying to you. They both have. But there is a way out of here, and your mother has the key.
Ooh. Who to fucking trust in all of this? Ooh. Opening up all the memories. Huh. Go through it. He's the only one who's in his own memory now. So much is going on right now. Yeah, he's really messing with the code or whatever the fuck is going on.
You think your father cares about you? He's not doing this for you, he's doing it for her. If he had to choose between you and your mother, he'd always choose her.
But is that really what's going on? Oh, fuck.
你哋有冇見過我嚟啊？佢冇死啊！佢頭先喺度㗎。
That's not creepy, huh?
Yeah.
I kind of like how it's like the pregnant person and the one who's
Kind of dying.
they're like supporting each other.
What is crazy is that you still haven't figured out what this is all about.
Du wusstest die ganze Zeit, was das hier ist.
Who is he? Wait, is he the brother?
Oh.
We actually haven't...
This simulation has been corrupted. It's all falling apart. Give me what I want. Tut mir leid, Captain.
No.
Oh, that was what Daniel was doing with Ada, right?
I reckon, yeah. That's why, all the people who died. That's how it happened. Still not quite sure why he did that, but back then.
To put things into motion, perhaps?
Where is my brother? What have you done to Kieran?
Believe me, he's the last one you should be concerned about.
Or maybe he's not the brother.
You are the creator.
You're lying. That's not true.
You created this, you and your husband. This is your design.
I didn't create this!
I'll make sure you stay in here forever.
That's still pretty fucked up, man. That's some apocalyptic imagery right there.
Time to wake up.
Nothing's happening?
It does nothing?
Why is it not working?
He changed the code.
Deleting. Oh, there he is.
Your wedding ring holds the exit code now. This time, you will get out of here. Your brother, he took over the whole program whilst you were in here.
But did what?
He's been controlling everything.
What?
And I've tried so hard to get you out of here multiple times.
The brother?
You have to wake up. You have to stop him. Or everything will be lost.
Everything. And I guess that's a part of the story we won't get to. Okay, yeah.
This is some Matrix shit.
Full on. They're all here, hooked up to the same fucking simulation. In space?
Excuse me?
What is the story? The Prometheus. May your coffee kick in before reality does. 2099.
What?
I'm so fucking mad we won't get the rest of it now. Oh, there's even a making of thing.
Nice. We can watch that at some point.
Maybe that'll give us some, I don't know,
Probably not.
answers. Yeah, no. Okie dokie.
Artichoke.
That was the end. Okay, yeah. So our whole theory about... Oh, well, I guess to an extent we did get a hard reset. It was just not in the way that we thought. It was not through that simulation, but now it's what seemingly is reality. It's not 1899, it's 2099. They are not aboard like a ship, but a spaceship. Still, like, it is the Prometheus, and there are passengers, there are crew, and they're heading somewhere. It has something to do with survival. So like that, those are the stakes. And is this like what remains of humanity, perhaps? Or so it's like what this whole thing is about just like completely got shifted on its head, I feel like, in the end. And it's not just necessarily about, you know, wanting to forget pain and then creating a simulation for that, but it's also connected to whatever the fuck is going on now on a spaceship and not on Earth and in 2099.
Yeah, and well, we don't know for certain that this is just another...
It could be another simulation inside a simulation. Inside a simulation.
Exactly. And also the kind of weird thing for me is that we haven't really heard anything about the brother, and suddenly he's just like, it's a bit like Deus Ex Machina a little bit.
He was always like someone like the whole thing with what happened to my brother, and he was the one who sent the letters and so on and so on. So,
and then he kind of disappeared, and all of the questions revolving around him kind of disappeared, and then suddenly in the end he just turned up again.
Yeah, as the person who's controlling all of this, whatever this is. Whoa, so many thoughts like going through my mind when we were watching this episode, and like, okay, what are we going to talk about? What sort of theories are we going to have towards the end? But again, like these last 5 minutes or so, completely out the window, and now it's just, it feels like it's something entirely new, but still sort of familiar to what it was. And that, oh man, I would have loved to have seen the second and third season to see where they were going to go with all of this, because now we got really sci-fi.
Yeah, and the thing is, since we won't really get any questions as to, for example, was the whole thing about the kid, was that a simulation? Like, was the kid simulated, or was he real?
Yeah, because he wasn't there amongst the people in the machine,
but
hooked up to the Matrix.
But she was still wearing her wedding ring.
She's still wearing her wedding ring
when she woke up.
Was Daniel there? Was he hooked up to it at all?
I feel like I didn't see him, but
no, me neither.
I think they were hard to recognize. Honestly.
Yeah, it was dark, and it was, they saw some of them definitely looked different.
But I think it's about like the lighting, because when we see the lighting, it's not as because the way that the light was positioned was like very close to the face, and it was like around.
Yeah. It was just difficult to see.
The way that your face is lighted will make you look very different.
Yeah. But like the way that your face is lit will do a lot to it.
Yes.
Okay, we talked about at one point the possibility of, okay, what if we get to shift our perspective? Because that's also been a whole thing with like shifting perspectives on characters and events and what's going on. And what if we're going to shift our perspective when it comes to Henry, just like we sort of did with Daniel? And now it feels like we sort of did. Like, he still doesn't come off as like a stand-up guy necessarily, someone that you're gonna root for, but he's not the creator. He's trapped in this as much as everyone else and has been trying to find a way out. He's just knew more about it than most. And then the whole simulation starting and beginning again and again, but how many times has that been going on? And this is definitely also the episode where I didn't know who to trust. No. I don't know, like when someone says, this is what's going on, this is what's happening, and then someone else is like, no, they're lying to you, and no, they're lying to you. And it's like, okay, so what are we as viewers supposed to believe? And that's, that's part of it for sure, that we are supposed to be like, okay, we don't know who to trust. Let's just wait and see. We're not gonna fucking get it. No. Damn you, Netflix. Just putting out the series and it's been there for 2 months and then they're like, not enough people are watching it. Just let it breathe, let it be there, let it live for a while, let people get back to it and watch it, and maybe stop doing the whole fucking binge thing where you put out a whole season or something and then some people will binge it in a weekend, and then other people will be like, oh mate, I didn't get around to it and now I feel like I'm behind, so I'm not gonna start the show because people are already over it. No one is talking about it anymore. So I feel like this binge model, it's only hurting them now. It's not doing anything for them whatsoever. And it's how shows like these they will die out like that. Damn it. I'm so intrigued by all of it. But again, maybe another streaming service will pick it up, or maybe if that doesn't happen, then they're going to be like, okay, we won't get to show you the rest of the story, but here's the outline of it. Here's what was going to happen. Perhaps. Just so that we'll get answers, those of us who are invested in it. And I don't really know what else to sort of get into, because I said we were probably going to theorize like crazy here at the last episode or in the discussion. But as we said, like those last few minutes just turned everything on its head.
It's hard to theorize from, especially since there's not going to be anymore.
It is, and it kind of feels pointless a little bit. So, trying to take this as the end of it, and just being like, oh, okay, that was the end of the simulation. They're all in space, going somewhere, and that's just the way we're gonna have to leave it.
Yes, but is the simulation the same for all of them, or are they living their own simulations? Like there's a lot of questions about the simulation per se, and also the whole theme throughout the show is like revolving around reality. So like, what is reality? And we started the last episode with Maura trying to explain how some people are, as herself, and to a degree me as well, like how reality is only the thing that you have inside your mind, because like it is your perception of what is real that is reality, right? So to explain it in another way, like there's a lot of like there's a certain philosophy called solipsism, where it's you can't trust anything else but your own reality or your own eyes. So, like you don't know for certain that everything around you is real. You can only trust yourself. You don't know for certain if what you're experiencing is the same as the person next to you. Yes, and that's also a way to kind of discredit or being skeptic towards science, either like space science, like what's it called? Astronomy. Astronomy, yeah, and or micro on a micro scale. So like
atoms and so on.
Microbiology and stuff, like
Yeah.
where it's so small that you can't see, that you have to use a microscope, because that microscope will suddenly alter reality. Like you're manipulating reality because you have to enlarge, or what was it called when you watching through a telescope? I can't remember. But when you have to use a telescope, you have to microscope, yeah, or a telescope.
Telescope up, microscope down.
But
or,
it's the same thing with a telescope. So if you have to look at science, or like scientific or discoveries, like if you have to look through something, then you can't trust your own eyes. Like you can't trust it to be real, because it's basically manipulated, seeing in a very basic way. That there are definitely people who believes that. I learned about it in the theory of science. That's a course at the university that everyone has to go through in some level. And I was just so baffled by this, like the way that, well, you can't really trust anything but yourself and your own reality. So you can't really trust any sort of science. It's basically a way to discredit science. And in a sense, it makes a little bit of sense, because in science you don't have an actual definite answer to stuff. It's just like basically just one big consensus about things, and that's also like why you have like with the peer review, for example, that a lot of people have to say, okay, this makes sense. But that's also when you have the a shift of paradigm shift. I don't know. Yeah. It's because you have a lot of people saying this is how we look at science. This is what we consider correct science. Yes. And then suddenly someone comes along like Galileo, and he says, well, the sun is actually the center of the universe, not the earth. And we are, or not the universe, sorry, but the solar system. Yeah. And we are...
The earth revolves around the sun,
exactly,
not the other way around.
Yes, exactly. And then they suddenly are like, most of them are like, no, because that's not proper science. And at some point something happens, and then the science shifts to believe this. And then suddenly some flat earthers come around, and then they say, hey, but you can't prove that the earth is round. And then it's like, yes, we can. But you know what I mean, right?
No paradigm shift there.
They think it's a paradigm shift. And we can talk about reality like that and blah, 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 blah. But the thing is, it's just like, in a sense, like, it kind of makes sense, but it's also insane, right? So this whole thing, what is reality? It's like, it's...
Question everything, but to a point, or like what, like... It's probably, it's a good thing, and definitely when it comes to like scientific method and so on, to question things and not taking everything for granted. And like if new information comes along at some point, then it might create like a paradigm shift. But some things must be a constant.
Yeah, you have to. That's also why one of the most important rules of science is that you have what your discovery is. It has to be reproducible. Like you have to be able to do the same experiment and with the same outcome.
Yes, you can't just do it once and then you're like, oh, that was weird. So that's a new thing. Okay, you have to be able to reproduce it and do it again and be like, okay, so there's a constant here.
Yeah, exactly. There's this interesting little fun study, because there's been this theory about something in red wine called resveratrol. Resveratrol? I don't know. But this is like this compound, and it's said to prolong life. It's like something about like this. There's like a French paradox or something. Anyway, this resveratrol was given to some fish, and the fish actually, like, there was one batch that actually ended up living, I think, a month longer than they were supposed to. But the same person who did this discovery also tried to do it again and again and again, and he never got the same results as the first one around.
Yeah, so that was more of a fluke.
Yeah, but it's also kind of like that was weird, but we can't make it happen again. So at least that he could acknowledge that the theory was wrong to a certain degree, at least. for this specific.
But still can't
experiment.
explain why it happened that one time.
No, exactly. So it's just, I think things like this, like the philosophy of science and all of this is so interesting.
Yeah, and I love how deep it goes with this series and what they were talking about with the mind and reality and how we perceive things and shifting our perception or perspective. They're good at that. Like that's some of what we got in Dark, I think, and in this one just really going more into the mind and reality. Would have loved to have seen where they're going to go with it from here, because it really sparks some interesting thoughts and conversations. But I also, to some degree, get like why a series like this, because there's a lot of production value and so on involved with it, and it is quite intricate and maybe not. It's not an easy story to swallow. Like it's not the kind of series you just sit down and watch and just turn off your brain and it's just entertainment and you can just like you have to really invest and try to wrap your head around what's going on, and it's not as approachable in that way as some other series, and then it might not have found a huge audience, unfortunately. And that might have been, the reasoning for Netflix behind canceling it. As I don't know. We don't have the numbers. No streaming service really shares like the actual numbers, I think, when it comes to like how many people are watching something.
Sorry, I just
thought of something else.
Yeah. So Daniel, let's say he wasn't around. We didn't see him. But he said he was always going to be there when she woke up.
He will always be there. And that kind of sounds like something you would say if you're not alive any longer. Like, I will always be with you.
Exactly.
And that's, like...
with the ring.
Yes.
That's how she keeps him.
Yeah, that's how she's going to keep him with her, yeah. And he also reprogrammed the simulation to... Like, the ring was it was the key instead of the actual key.
And all of this stuff about like letting people go, like letting go of the pain, letting go of.
Yeah, so I had to let go of both Daniel and Elliot dying.
And that was the pain that she was experiencing, and not necessarily only the kid, but also him, perhaps. Sorry, it just dawned on me. Continue, I think.
We will probably, keep going with talking about some of the stuff and some theories, but since we're not really gonna get answers, it kind of feels like a
moot point.
Yeah.
Kyle's opinion.
It doesn't matter. Fuck, man. What did you guys think about this season of 1899? Are you as sad as we are that we're not going to get any more? Did you get invested in the story? Let us know in the comments down below, and please share some of your theories with us about like where you think the series was going, what we were going to get, or what did you get out of what we've seen so far and what we got in this season. I'd love to read some of it at least, because there's this, as we already said, like you can really get into a lot of interesting conversations with the subject matter of this series. But the only thing left to do, I think, is just the last Danish word of the day. We might continue doing that just because it's fun.
It's fun, yeah.
Probably do that with The Last of Us as well. Maybe do it with the titles again or something. Yeah, we'll... If it's a one word title. Or... Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. If we're going to continue with it or not. But at least for this one, last one is... The Key, and that's a bit more interesting than the previous two, because it's not as straightforward. So The Key, or A Key in Danish, that would be
Nøglen. So again with the article at the end, en nøgle, nøglen. The thing is, when you see it written out, it's Nøgle. Ø is we have had this discussion many times. it's an actual vowel with its own sound. So that's the O with the
line through
with
it.
the line through it. So it's pronounced so nøgle. And the way it's written out, GLE, it's weird with Danish because there's a lot of sounds that don't make any freaking sense, and this is one of them.
Yeah.
It's a bit like in Italian, you have this GN or GL sound that becomes like a JL sound or a JN sound, like lasagna. So it's a bit like that. But yeah, so nøgle.
Yes, so just again.
Nøglen.
Yes, a key, en nøgle, the key, nøglen.
Yes.
See it written on the screen. It's a bit more difficult to pronunciate if you're not pronunciate. Wow, that's not a word. It's a bit more difficult to pronounce if you're not Danish, or at least Dane, Swede, Norwegian, Swede.
Germans also have.
Yeah. Now we're just getting way out there, and my mind is
yes
has melted already.
Yes.
That's the end, unfortunately, for 1899. Thank you guys so much for watching along. Those of you who stuck around and watched these reactions with us, even though the series is not going to continue. We had some fun with it. Fun, interesting conversations. Loved reading some of your comments as well. We'll be back very, very soon with The Last of Us. Can't freaking wait for that one. So again, do you have anything else you want to say? Nope. All right. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you as soon as possible. Bye.
Bye.